Home, a man is in custody for the murder of a 22-year-old woman in Cobb County. Police say 21-year-old Eugene Louis-Jacques is suspected of killing Beauty Couch Wednesday morning, then setting her car on fire. Loved ones say Couch had so much promise. She was attending college and was an Instagram influencer. This is what her mom told Fox 5 earlier this week.
They hurt my baby so bad. My baby didn't deserve this. My baby was a good baby. She was a sweet girl. She never bothered nobody. She never bothered nobody. She was a friend to everybody.
On August 23, 2023, firefighters in Austell, Georgia responded to what they thought was a brush fire off Joe Jerkins Boulevard. What they found was a car fully engulfed in flames in a ditch. And not far from that car, in the woods nearby, they found a 22-year-old woman who had been there since the day before. Her name was Beauty Ketera Couch. And before we get into what happened to her, you need to know who she actually was, because that part of this story matters just as much as everything else. Beauty was born on April 23, 2001, in Austell, Georgia, a suburb about 22 miles west of Atlanta in Cobb County. She attended Cobb County Public Schools and was enrolled at Clayton State University, studying psychology. She was one semester away from finishing her bachelor's degree. One semester. That is how close she was. Her plan after graduation was a career in child psychology, and she was not waiting around for a diploma to get started. During the week, she worked at the Youth Life Center of Arts as director of dance, teaching children the art of movement after her own classes. On weekends, she waitressed at Blazin' Restaurant and Lounge in Austell. On top of that, she was running her own pop-up business, Beauty K Essentials. School. 2 jobs, 1 business, at 22 years old. Now here's the part about her family, because it is important context for understanding how people responded when she went missing. Early in her life, circumstances within her family led to adoption. By the time Beauty was 7 months old, she had been adopted by a woman named Deanna Thurman. That adoption did not cut her off from her biological family. She maintained a close relationship with her biological mother, Kimberly Couch, and grew up connected to both families, 3 brothers, 2 sisters, and an extended network that stayed active in her life throughout. Deanna Thurman described her daughter this way: "She stole my heart from day one. She has always been such a sweet, happy, and talented child, always smiling and dancing around the house at the tender age of 2. She was extremely active with a love and passion for all things skating and dancing." Kimberly Couch, her biological mother, put it more directly when she spoke to reporters.
My baby didn't deserve this. My baby was a good baby. She was a sweet girl. She never bothered nobody. She never bothered nobody. She was a friend to everybody.
Around 2021, she returned to roller skating, something she had loved as a child. This time she took it seriously. She joined a competitive skate team called Dip Girls, entered competitions, and won multiple of them. She posted her routines on Instagram and TikTok under the name Beauty. Ketera choreographed sequences on the rink, technical moves that had people stopping mid-scroll to watch.
So, with the and I play a chess deep and turn.
Started offering paid skating lessons. More people signed up. The community around her kept growing. 12 days before August 22, 2023, a publication ran an interview with her. She spoke about overcoming anxiety and about being bullied for her size as a child. She said this about skating: Skating gives me a peace I never thought I could experience. 12 days later, she was gone. On August 20th, 2023, 3 days before her body was found, Beauty made her final Instagram post. A set of photos, caption referencing her boyfriend. No name attached, no tag, just a reference to the person she was spending time with. That post is still up. Her followers still leave comments on it. Now we need to talk about the relationship. And this is where this story takes a turn that her own family is still trying to make sense of. Please don't forget to like this video, comment, and subscribe to True Crime Doctor for more interesting cases like this. Beauty kept her personal life entirely separate from what she shared online. The people closest to her confirmed that the relationship with her boyfriend was new. According to the prosecution's opening statement at trial, Beauty and Eugene met at a beauty conference in Orlando. Shortly after that meeting, he moved from Florida to Georgia to be with her. The two began dating in April 2023. 4 months. That is how long the relationship had been going when August 22nd arrived. Eugene did not live in Georgia when they met. He was also a roller skater, originally from Florida, and he relocated to Austell specifically to be closer to her. His full name was Eugene Tobi Louis-Jacques. He was 21 years old. Beauty's sister, Layla Brown, met him once. Her read on him was immediate.
That guy that was buying her flowers and taking her out and, making her smile at one point, how did it get here? I just can't believe this.
In the beginning, though, from the outside, things looked normal. When they were dating, because they weren't dating long, he was always taking her out or buying her flowers. Layla said they were all loving. Biological mother Kimberly Couch had a shorter read on him, bad vibe about him.
I met him one time, and when I met him, I was like, hey, how you doing? That was it. And I was like, looked at my baby, and then I like, that person is not going to be the right person for my baby.
The rest of the family had no concrete reason to raise an alarm at the time. He was the guy who had sent flowers to her job. He had taken her out. On the surface, nothing was obviously wrong. Beauty disappeared on August 22nd, 2023. Her mother became concerned after she could not reach her daughter all day and began calling Beauty's boyfriend, who also did not answer his phone. No response from either of them. Hours passed with no word. The following morning, August 23rd, 12:18 p.m., the Austell Fire Department responded to a brush fire report at the intersection of Joe Jerkins Boulevard and Landers Street. They arrived to find a Dodge Dart burning in a ditch. The car was towed. Officers traced the vehicle registration to Deanna Thurman's address. When they got there, they learned that Beauty had not been seen since the morning before, and that she was the one who regularly drove that car. They went back. They searched the surrounding woodline. Approximately 191 feet from where the vehicle was found, they located Beauty's body in the woods, covered in branches. She had been there since the day before. Foul play was suspected immediately. An autopsy was ordered for the following morning. Guys, if you are finding value in this coverage, please subscribe to True Crime Doctor right now. We are committed to covering cases like this one completely from the investigation through the trial, and there is much more of this story still to tell. We have more cases coming, and more parts of this one as new information develops. Hit subscribe so you do not miss it. The Dodge Dart had been burned so completely that almost no biological evidence could be recovered from it. No DNA belonging to Eugene Louis-Jacques was found on Beauty's body, and no biological evidence linking him to the scene was recovered from his clothing or from inside his vehicle. The defense would lean on that fact heavily at trial. But investigators were not done building their case, because the fire did not destroy everything. When Cobb County detectives processed the area around the burned car and the woodline, 3 categories of evidence came back that would carry the prosecution's case from that scene all the way to a Louisiana courtroom. A Cobb County Police Department investigator testified at trial that officers found a traffic ticket at the scene, mere feet from where Beauty's body was located. The citation belonged to Eugene Louis-Jacques and included the license plate number for his white Nissan Altima. Prosecutors argued at trial that it likely fell from his pocket while he was at that location. That one piece of paper gave investigators a name, a vehicle, and a plate number. Everything that followed in this investigation started with that ticket. Cell phone location data and flock license plate reader records placed Jacques in the area on August 22nd, the day Beauty disappeared. For those unfamiliar, flock is an automated license plate reader system with cameras positioned throughout an area that tracks vehicle movements and logs timestamps. It does not require an officer to be present. It just records. After the events of August 22nd, prosecutors said Louis-Jacques returned to that same location 5 separate times the following day. Each return trip was logged by the same flock system. His phone data and his plate reader data corroborated each other on every single one of those trips. Prosecutors' position was straightforward. He was going back to check whether the scene had been found yet. The third piece of evidence came from Louis-Jacques himself, though he did not know it at the time. His tennis shoes had drops of blood on them. Testing confirmed the blood belonged to Louis-Jacques himself. Also recovered from inside his vehicle was a burned piece of paper with his name on it. Cobb County secured an arrest warrant and brought in the U.S. Marshals Service. A task force officer connected to the Marshals contacted the St. Tammany Parish Sheriff's Proactive Enforcement Unit and passed along everything they had: his name, his photo, the white Nissan Altima, and the plate number from that traffic ticket. Investigators also learned by this point that Louis-Jacques had been using a false identity. He was going by the name Michael Waters, using it to apply for a job at a local golf course and to purchase a new phone. Detective Chance Cloud was assigned to run the lead down from the Louisiana side. He positioned his team near Oak Harbor and Landmark Drive in the early afternoon and waited. At approximately 4:40 p.m., the white Nissan Altima came through. Detective Cloud confirmed the plate, observed the traffic violation, and initiated the stop. The body camera footage from that stop was played for the jury at trial. We have the transcript of what was said. When Detective Cloud approached the vehicle and asked the driver for his name, the man behind the wheel said, "Michael Waters," said he was from Florida, said his license was at home. Cloud ran the name. It returned nothing in the system, but the date of birth the man provided matched Eugene Louis-Jacques exactly. Cloud went back to the vehicle. He read him his Miranda rights and kept pressing. When deputies asked him directly why he had given a false name, his answer was recorded on body camera. He said he was trying to avoid getting caught. After that exchange, he confirmed who he was.
New body camera video played in court Thursday shows Eugene Jacques' arrest in Louisiana days after his girlfriend was found murdered in Cobb County. Plate readers tracked Jacques to the St. Tammany, Louisiana parish where he was pulled over and allegedly gave law enforcement a fake name.
How do you spell your first name, man?
M-Y-K.
M-Y-K.
A-L.
A-E-L.
W-A-T-E-R-S.
Waters is your last name?
That's it.
I elected to run the name and date of birth, Michael Waters, that was provided to me, during which time I learned that that person did not exist.
After detectives determined the man was Jacques, they searched his car and say they found clothing, bedding, towels, scissors, and a map of Louisiana. They also allegedly found receipts with the name Michael Waters, who had purchased a Boost mobile phone and filled out a job application at a local Louisiana golf course in the days after Couch's death.
In October 2023, a Cobb County grand jury indicted him on 6 counts: malice murder, felony murder, aggravated assault, arson in the second degree, concealing the death of another, and tampering with evidence. He entered a plea of not guilty on all 6 counts. Now, while the legal process was moving forward, Beauty's family was doing something else entirely. They were grieving in public and holding each other together at the same time. A candlelight vigil was held at Blazin' Restaurant and Lounge, the same place where Beauty had waitressed on weekends. The community in Austell showed up. Friends, co-workers, teammates from the Dip Girls skate team, people who had only ever known her through a screen. Sister Layla Brown told reporters, "I can't imagine her being in this situation at all, because she was so lovable, so caring, so fun, and so amazing. She impacted a lot of people, and she did nothing to anybody for anyone to want to do her like this." Kimberly Couch, Beauty's biological mother, was not holding back either. She said publicly what every parent in that position would say, that she wanted answers, that she wanted accountability, and that she wanted it to mean something beyond a conviction. An arrest had been made. The indictment had come down. But the family still had nearly 3 years of waiting ahead of them before a jury would walk into that courtroom in Marietta, Georgia. By October 2023, Eugene Tobi Louis-Jacques was sitting in Cobb County facing 6 felony counts. The plea was not guilty, and the family of Beauty Couch had been told what every family in this situation gets told, that the process takes time. What nobody tells you is how much time. From the indictment to the first day of trial, nearly 2.5 years passed. That is 2.5 years of Kimberly Couch waking up every morning, knowing who was responsible for her daughter's death, and waiting for a courtroom to confirm it. 2.5 years of Mario carrying the weight of a reconciliation that came just weeks too late. 2.5 years of Layla Brown giving interviews and making statements and holding the family's public voice together while the legal process moved at its own pace. When May 19, 2026 finally arrived, the family was ready. They had been ready for a long time. Across the courtroom, Eugene Tobi Louis-Jacques, now 24 years old, sat beside his defense attorney Brian Lumpkin. On the prosecution side, Ada Stephanie Green was the lead attorney, joined by Ada Jared Horowitz. 6 counts on the indictment, 1 trial. Dr. Zuha Ashraf had conducted Beauty's autopsy on August 24, 2023, the day after her body was recovered. She was a forensic pathologist with over 7 years of experience and more than 1,000 autopsies completed. She walked the jury through her findings methodically. Her testimony covered the sequence of injuries, the pattern she identified, the order in which they occurred, and what the physical evidence told her about the events of August 22. Her conclusions were certified on Beauty's official death certificate. Cause of death, sharp force injuries. Manner of death, homicide. The defense did not dispute the cause of death. What they disputed was who was responsible for it. Judge Kimberly Childs did not adjourn for sentencing. She moved directly from the verdict to the sentence in the same session, something that does not happen often in cases of this nature. Before she did, Ada Jared Horowitz addressed the court. He said, "The evidence in this case has demonstrated that this defendant showed no mercy towards Miss Couch, and this court should not allow any mercy either." Judge Childs sentenced Eugene Tobi Louis-Jacques to life in prison without the possibility of parole, plus an additional 20 years, the maximum handed down the same afternoon as the verdict. "I just wanted my justice for my baby, and I got it, and she got it, so she can rest, and I can rest too. I know now what happened, and I know who did it, and I thank God that God got him."
Sean, the family of Beauty Couch is grieving tonight. They've placed a memorial here near the scene of this crime. Monday, family and friends visited the scene of the crime off Joe Jerkins Boulevard, placing balloons and flowers nearby in Beauty's memory.
I just had to feel her final resting place. I had to feel her spirit. I want her to know that she's missed, she's loved.
Ghosting, fuck it up, ghosting, fuck it up, ghosting, that's what's up, ghosting. Hey boo-boo, too much complexity to learn me from Google. My mama told me that the money outgrew you. My horoscope said I'm really on my noodle. I'm troubling, I'm puzzling, it's a ducal. Baby, yes America got a problem. Geeked up, choosy love, but I chose violence. Universal, please don't play possum.